Space Cadets, the WAYO Rochester fundraiser is in full swing for 2022 right now. Go over. Don't wait. Do it now. Don't hesitate. Come on, just do it. Are you doing it? I want you to do it. Donate.wayofm.org during this episode of The Sound of Tomorrow on WAYO Rochester. We're going to be talking a lot about the WAYO fundraiser, as we do, because we're psyched about it. Did I happen to mention that's donate.wayofm.org? We are going to be talking about the fundraiser, and we're going to be talking about the fundraiser. We are also, if we take a break from talking about the fundraiser, we might be talking about books. We might be talking about time. We might be talking about Republicans. But more importantly, donate.wayofm.org. But first,
Heather, oh my goodness, you're practically glowing, and I have not seen you smiling like that in, well, I mean, ever, really. What's got you looking so happy?
oh, Ross, it's finally happened. I'm in love.
Ugh, Heather, not this again.
No. Of course I'm in love with you, and always have been, and always will be, but you've made it very clear that you're all gay and married and gay married, and I don't stand a chance.
Well, I am gay and married, so, ergo, gay married. It's all.
Yeah. And I'm at peace with it. I'll always love you, but in my heart, there are many chambers.
4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4. That's how human hearts work. But that means there's room aplenty for my new true love.
New true love. Well, I am so happy for you then. So where'd you meet him? Or, I mean, I assume it's a him. I shouldn't assume. I'm sorry. That's inappropriate.
No. It's okay. And thank you. It's a him. He's the him for me.
Oh my God, you have got it bad. So, so tell me about him. Dish girl. Where'd you meet? How long have you been seeing each other?
So, the story of how we met is absolutely the cutest. As is well known, this is the time of year where I don my long white dress, grab my favorite lantern, and head out into the woods.
Okay, this is not well known at all, actually. I mean, the woods? You? I mean, you, Heather Zakowski, willingly visiting the woods?
Well, at Highland Park, it's close to my house.
That's not exactly the woods.
And I don't exactly like a long commute. There's trees, that's enough. And
Sure.
2 weeks ago, I was on my nightly ramble, wind in my hair, lantern light guiding my footsteps, and there I saw, amongst the trees, the beautiful light from his eyes.
So you met him on Grindr, is what you're saying.
What?
Okay, nighttime, Highland Park, shrubbery. I mean,
Huh?
never mind.
What's Grinder?
Never mind, just go on with your story.
All right. When I saw his beautiful eyes, I was transfixed. It was love at first sight. I've never experienced such a thing. We rushed to greet each other as though we'd known each other all our lives. And, well, now I'm all booed up.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I'm so happy.
I'm so happy too. Your stories are usually longer and much more tedious.
A simple story for a pure and simple love.
Okay, so what's his name? And what does he do? And does Nigel like him?
Well, he's actually kind of a celebrity, so I think you might know him already.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you dig those guys that are in bands and stuff, so good for you.
No. He's not a band guy this time. I know you know him. Okay, I'll give you hints and you can guess.
Okay, normally I would just hang up on you at this point and not talk to you for a week if you suggested that, but you really do look so happy. So happy. And I think it's even got me of all people, in a good mood. So yeah, let's, so much of a celebrity that I'd know him.
Okay, he's from West Virginia, or that's where he first made a real name for himself, and he was discovered in 1966.
Okay, West Virginia, 1966. Okay. Oh my God, are you dating some kind of grand old Opry country performer? I would not put that past you. That would be so Heather. That would be a good match. Yeah.
No Grand Ole Opry. He's a bigger star even than that.
Bigger than the Grand Ole Opry. I don't know. That's possible. Okay, so discovered in 1966. People usually get, okay, assuming you get discovered pretty young if you're a model or an actor. It's whenever, okay, so you'd be like in his 60s or 70s, which is completely age appropriate for you. So well done.
Well, nobody really knows how old he is, but
Okay, I mean, I understand West Virginia way back then. Record keeping wasn't what it is now, or probably still is not, but he's famous. Okay, you got to give me more to go on because I'm not getting this. So, movie star, you said, like maybe movie star, but you said not musician.
he's learning to play the ukulele for me, though.
Okay, that is really sweet and also horrific because the world does not need more ukulele players. Okay, so what would I know him from?
Kind of just from being around.
Okay, come on, that is not fair.
Okay, here's a hint. He's a large flying man with 10-foot wings.
So a cosplayer. Okay, I would have seen him at maybe he was at San Diego Comic Con then.
He has the most beautiful glowing red eyes.
Okay, again, a cosplayer, I get it, but I can't think of any cosplayers famous enough that I'd know them just from like being around.
Ugh, Ross, you're terrible at this. I'm dating Mothra.
Mothra.
Yes.
Mothra, the fictional moth from the Godzilla movies, who is played by a puppet and is also a girl.
Ah, shoot. No, I always get that confused. I'm dating Mothman.
You're dating Mothman.
Yeah. And Ross, when he wraps his wings around me, my heart just melts.
Okay, well, he's not known for melting hearts, though I do hope having a nice girlfriend will cut down on him attacking their cars when teenagers are necking in the woods.
Yeah, he's gone totally cold turkey on that. We're really good for each other. It's a really healthy relationship.
Is he sorry about the Silver Bridge?
The what?
The Silver Bridge, he hasn't told you?
No, what? What hasn't he told me?
You know what? I'm not getting involved in your relationship like that.
Ross, what have you heard about him?
No, good girl. You know what? Glad you're happy, Heather. Girl, oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, queen. Get it. Get that man.
Mothra.
Is he gonna eat your sweaters though?
It's okay. I don't mind if he does.
All right.
It's true love.
All right. Hey everybody, I'm Ross Johnson, your favorite co-host.
And I'm Heather Zykowski, the babe with the power. You are listening to The Sound of Tomorrow on WAYO LP Rochester, where the WAYO fundraiser for 2022 is in full swing right now. Run, don't walk. In fact, you don't even really have to move. You've probably got a phone or something where you can just type this in. Donate.wayofm.org. Give what you can today.
All right, I'll do it.
Good. I think you've already done it. No, Ross, are you excited?
I'm
It's
a
the WAYO
recurring
fundraiser.
I'm a recurring, even though I work here, I'm a recurring
know.
donator.
Yes, indeed. So am I. I am a WAYO member as well as a volunteer.
Yeah.
So our goal for the fundraiser this year is to help us raise $15,000, and
That's not
that's to
much money at
cover.
all.
It's not. And for an operation like WAYO, where even a small donation means that you can make a big difference, there are 80 different shows a week, new ones on their way, or nearly 80. I don't mean to be imprecise there. New ones on their way. There's music, there's comedy, there's talk, there's interviewers, and more. The station is made up of more than 100 unpaid volunteers from all different parts of the community. And like Ross and me here, we're your friends, we're your neighbors, we're your family. We
I'm
might
not
be
your friend.
you.
I'm not your friend.
Well, no, you. Which one of us is more curmudgeonly? You, I think, right?
It's me. I think it's me. Yeah.
I think so. I have
Yeah.
my moments.
You you like people better. So
It's
Heather's
not saying much. Not saying
so
much.
Heather's your friend.
For the purposes of the WAYO fundraiser, yes, I am your friend.
Oh yeah, for
And
that purpose, sure. I'm your friend too. Absolutely. Let's hang,
so if you go on
everybody.
over to donate.wayofm.org, there are all kinds of cool perks you can get. And
I
as
hope there's
always,
a car.
there's a sticker you could put on your car.
Sure, that's what I meant.
I wonder how much you'd have to donate to WAYO for them to like get someone to buy you a car. I would imagine that would be doable. You could probably message someone over at donate.wayofm.org if you would like a car as a perk.
Yeah, I mean, I bet if you donated like $20,000, well, that's like a cheap car, right? But
That's
like, what
yeah,
does a car
no.
cost? Like
I'm
$30,000. I bet
thinking
if you donated like $30,000 plus $20, you could get a $30,000 car. That would be.
See, I think what someone would have to do is they could donate like $1 million, and then we could just go find a car for them. And like maybe one of the great artists who does WAYO artwork could like kind of customize it up with some like WAYO themes.
Oh, that's okay. Well, that's volunteering an awful lot. But all right, yeah, if you got $1 million and you want to donate $1 million to WAYO for our $15,000 operating budget, sure.
It would keep
I'm
us
gonna
going
go
for
ahead
a
and say we'll
while.
find a way to make it happen. Legally,
Yeah,
I don't know what the issues are there. So also, I'm not a lawyer. So
I'm not a lawyer either. I mean, we're a
talk to somebody.
nonprofit.
Talk to somebody other than us before you write that check. Is what I guess
Right,
what I'm
because
saying.
we are not the ones who are going to be picking out the cars. You don't want
Right.
me picking out your car because it's going to end up like real base model. Like
Sure.
that's what you're getting if I'm picking a car because I'm going for economy features. Why? Because I volunteer at WAYO. Neither Ross nor I get paid for this. No one gets paid to be on the air. We're just doing it because we love it, and we do love it. Even Ross loves it. He likes to pretend he doesn't.
I like it fine. What can I get? Tell me what I can get. More importantly.
Ross, I think that's a great slogan for WAYO. I like it fine.
That's the new T-shirt.
So if you donate, you can get a lot of really cool perks, and these are at all kinds of different monetary levels. And I'll tell you, the donation interface is very user friendly, very easy to figure out, not intimidating at all, even for someone who skews a little bit older like myself. Though I'm not so bad with the internet. I just don't like things that are a hassle.
You're terrible at this. You're inventing problems. You're inventing things for people to be concerned about. I don't think anyone was like, I don't think anyone out there was like, I'm gonna give you a little live feedback right now on your
You
presentation
think?
here. I
You
don't
don't
think
think
anyone
anybody
out there
was
was like,
worried?
well, I'd like to donate, but I'm concerned about the ease of the interface. And now they're going, well, I'm a little concerned about the interface. Why would she say that if there weren't an issue there? So I'm just a little live feedback there. I don't know. I mean, also, don't you know and don't worry, we're not going to come to your house and egg your house if you don't give enough money. I'm just saying we're not going to do
Is
that.
that a guarantee? Are you
um
sure?
Certainly not a guarantee. No,
Are you sure we're not?
nothing's
You
guaranteed,
might
Heather.
be you
We're
might
not
be
lawyers.
making promises that the sound of tomorrow can't keep.
So what
If
can I
you
get?
donate, we have cool perks. We have a fresh limited edition t-shirt designed by Evan Jacadine. There's a cozy hoodie, also designed by Evan Jacadine. There's a sticker pack with classic WAYO designs and a new bumper sticker for your WAYO car that you got for giving whatever astronomical amount of money you just had laying around. Felt like giving to WAYO, for which we're very grateful. Thanks in advance. And you can get a thank you tweet. Another cool thing that we would love if you wanted to do when you make your donation, you can kind of dedicate it to a show.
Right.
And it would make us smile a whole lot if you were to choose the sound of tomorrow for that show, because we would just like it because, our egos are fragile and sometimes need to be stroked.
And listen, you might think as you're going to do that, you might think, "Oh my gosh, everybody's dedicating their money to the Sound of Tomorrow show, so why would I bother?" I have had seriously like my best friends and I think my husband donate money and do it to another show. So, listen, it's not just do it. I don't care if even if you don't like it.
Yeah,
Just listen. We're having a real rough couple years here,
I know.
everybody,
It's
but
true.
especially me and
Yeah.
Heather. You can tell by
Right.
how whiny we are. So
Well,
listen,
yeah.
just I don't care if you've never even heard this show before. Just dedicate your money to Sound of Tomorrow. We need the ego
Just,
boost,
yeah,
please.
we do. We do. We're
Maybe
very
I wouldn't be so
delicate and very fragile.
maybe I wouldn't be so hateful if you all would.
So, and there's also a way to become a WAYO member, as Ross and I were discussing. We are, but we're going to get to that a little bit later in the program because, as I said, we're going to talk about this WAYO fundraiser for 2022 quite a lot today. I hope you're ready. It's going to be super exciting. Donate.wayofm.org. Do it, do it, do it. But we have some other topics to get to. So
Okay,
we'll
I'm
be
gonna give
back
you a little
with
more.
more fundraiser news, donate.wayofm.org, in a
Can
moment.
I give you? Can I give you a little more live feedback before we move on?
No.
I don't think I don't think hey, we're gonna talk about this fundraiser nonstop for an hour is the sales pitch that you think it is.
I think people like it when we do it.
Yeah, I think I think they might like it when we do it, but I think you have to sneak up on them. I don't think you can let them know it's coming.
I'm not good at sneaking up on people. I'm real loud. I'm
Yeah.
real clumsy. I'm always
All
making
right.
noises. I'm
So that's
always
all my.
like, I'm always making some kind of sound. I'm like squeaking or
Oh, with
squawking,
your. Yeah, you do have the squeaky shoes.
clacking.
Hi.
Hi,
How you doing?
how are you?
Happy after Halloween.
Happy after Halloween.
If anybody's watching this on YouTube, I apologize. My nose is real itchy.
Ah,
It's not COVID or boogers. It's just that it's real itchy.
'tis the season. It's getting colder and everybody's skin is drying out.
Yes. Yes. I'm not booger. It's
Everyone's
not
getting
boogers.
itchy.
Just that's our other slogan. It's not
The
boogers.
sound of tomorrow. It's not boogers. WAYO
And people are
LP
like, "No, it
Rochester.
kind of
I
is."
like it fine.
Yeah, I like it fine. That's that on my
So
put that on my tombstone, please.
Halloween has come and gone, unfortunately, though I will continue to be spooky because I cannot help it. But that
Sure.
means, you know what time is upon us, Ross?
Um, Tu Shavat.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Daylight saving time.
Daylight savings time. Isn't it actually daylight savings time is not upon us? Isn't that what's going on?
It is coming.
Isn't it not
Oh,
coming?
like the clock change. Yeah, I think we're
Isn't it
in
uncoming?
daylight saving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in daylight saving time right now,
Sorry,
and we will
I have
be
a lot of feedback
out
today.
of
I have
it.
a lot of notes. Don't mind me. Just ignore me.
I'm the one who printed out all of the things. And for anybody watching the YouTube, I have here the literal newspaper. But this has been all over. I woke up this morning to a long discussion of daylight saving time going on NPR because I guess there's a bill in Congress right now to make it go away.
Okay.
But from our very own local Rochester, New York paper, I have a little article entitled Clocks Will Go Back an Hour Soon 9 Things to Know About Daylight Saving Time.
Oh boy, this is a fun show. All right.
It's fun. Come on. No, because I learned something today
Okay.
from
Okay.
this kind of discussion. So
Today's
obviously,
episode literally asking you for money and then fun facts about daylight savings time.
fun
I don't know
facts,
why. I don't know why.
because it's coming.
We're not on the top 10 of anything.
I think we are. I think we are.
We're not on the top 10 of WAYO shows on Wednesday afternoons. But it's all right.
So, as we've been saying here, I think we're both pretty clear on this. I did not learn this today. It's not plural. It's daylight saving time, not daylight savings time.
I'm not going to change
We're
that
only.
pronunciation, so
You were just saying
you can.
saving, though. You weren't saying savings.
Was I? Darn it. I can't help but being precise.
Yes. Yes, I know. See,
All right.
it's a thing with you, isn't it? You learned
Yeah.
and you were like, oh, I must not call it by the wrong name.
Ugh. I don't like that about myself.
Poor Ross. And
Yeah.
then it says, when is it exactly? And it begins on the second Sunday of March and ends on the first Sunday of November since 2007. Before that, it started on the last Sunday of April and ended on the last Sunday of October.
Hmm.
I didn't know it changed. I mean,
You're
that's a
right.
pretty recent change, right?
You're right. Those are some sexy fun facts.
Ross,
What's
this
the
is the
next
thing
one?
that I learned. This
All
is
right.
the thing that I learned, okay?
Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Never about the farmers. It was not started to help America's farmers out. According to timeanddate.com, daylight saving time was first used in 1908 by a few hundred Canadians in Thunder Bay, Ontario. But Germany popularized daylight saving time after it first set clocks forward on April 30th, 1916, to save coal during World War II.
Okay.
Daylight saving time became a national standard in 1966 when President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Uniform Time Act, which was established as a way to continue to conserve energy. The thinking was, if it's light out longer, the less time you'll need to use lights in your house. Now, I learned a lot here because I also was under the complete misconception that the US was the only wacky country that did daylight saving time.
Right.
And so when I learned that on NPR they were talking about it like in Britain as well, and I was like, ugh, and I always thought it was about the farmers. I completely believed that entire like pop culture narrative of like, well,
Mhm.
it's because the farmers need the light to do their work. And so
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I feel like farmers are gonna work when there's light. I mean, I'm talking about old-timey farmers. You know? I feel like they were gonna work when it was light regardless of what the clock said, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I believe that that was always my argument against like, why do we have this for the farmers? The farmers can see when it's late and dark. Like the clock's not going to help them.
Right.
But it turns out that's just like a weird thing that's out. I was like, I don't know, a daily saving time legend.
Hmm.
But so now I know that. And that definitely for me, I was like, whoa, okay. Because I was just recently talking about the farmers. I've been wrong. And also, there was something on NPR about like every time it comes up about repealing daylight saving time, all the
Mhm.
farmers are like, yes, yes, do it. It was never about us. Just do it.
We're tired of being your daylight saving time scapegoats.
So then that was really my very favorite fun fact about daylight saving time. Do all states observe it? Hawaii and Arizona are the only two US states that don't observe daylight saving time.
Okay.
And territories of Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, and Northern Mariana Islands also don't.
Mhm.
But otherwise, that's, it's most of the US. Uh, there's a whole thing on which states want out of daylight saving time that I'm not going to really bother reading because, like, it's fine, it's cool, it's interesting, but meh. Um, and daylight saving time. See this, like, I had no idea about this. What about the rest of the planet? Daylight saving time is now used in over 70 countries worldwide, and it affects over 1 billion people every year. And the beginning and end dates vary from one country to another.
Yeah.
I really completely never knew that. And it makes me think daylight saving time is an even worse idea because time zones are kind of hard enough.
Right.
And then when you have to figure out because all the start and end dates change,
Yeah.
you can't just apply some like, okay, it's this time of year, so it's this time in this place. Like, nope, gotta look up their specific formula.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I don't know if that's an argument for or against getting rid of it in the United States because
Yeah,
if that many other
oh
countries
no,
are
I'm just
using it, it's
thinking
not
universally.
right, right.
I mean, for the US, I just, I don't want the disruption to my sleep.
Yeah. It's a pain.
Next year, daylight saving time. Oh, we'll return at 2 a.m. on Sunday, March 13th, 2022. Fun fact:
Yeah.
daylight saving time is a good time to check your smoke alarm batteries.
True.
It's a good reminder. It's always good to check your smoke alarm batteries, really, if you don't have them hardwired into your house and stuff. That's just
Right.
a good safety tip. And then the biggest discussion on NPR and the last part of this little article I would kind of breeze through is about whether daylight saving time is actually detrimental to human health.
Okay.
And there were a lot of sleep experts, doctors, things like that, quoted on NPR saying that like it's bad. It is not good to make people try to adjust, even if it seems so minimal. Like
Mhm.
I know often when people are complaining about daylight saving time, there's a whole like, oh no, you're off by a precious hour. Like Paul F. Tompkins even has a comedy routine about it, and he is the funniest, and I like his routine. But really, it can knock you back for like a week, and that's not great for humans.
Yeah, I think even a small change like that can impact a lot of people. I mean, it impacts me. like any small change to my sleep habits, and I think I'm not alone there, uh, can definitely have a big impact on me.
Yeah, me too. And I think we've talked a lot on this program about sleep and the importance of sleep and the importance of having good sleep routine
Yeah.
and the importance of not being an absolute monster who can sleep all day. Not naming any names. But so I am all for it. I'm ready. I'm ready to be done with daylight saving time.
All right. And I think I am too. I sort of don't care. I know people feel strongly about it, and I'm like, whatever. I'll figure it out. It's fine. I'll make it work either way. But I think I'm team get rid of it too. Well, I mean, I guess the question is it team get rid of it or team make it permanent? Because that's the big debate too. Because I
That's
think a
true.
lot
I
more
don't
people favor
care.
keeping it forever, just making it permanent daylight savings time. I think that's where a lot of people fall. Where more people fall, you know.
You're absolutely right. And that's fine by me.
Okay,
Let's just not
either
change
one.
the clocks.
All right,
Let's
pick one.
just rename time.
I like
And
it.
it'll just be time. It won't be daylight saving time anymore. It'll just be time.
Do you what about time zones? Do you want to get rid are you are you tired of doing that math
Time
as well?
zones. I mean, the time zones are tricky because they're not, as we know well from a lot of the work that we've done in our jobs. Uh, they even go to the half hour and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right. So they're 11 and a half hours forward.
All right. So no time zones, no or only daylight saving time. This is where we're falling, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's do it.
Yep. I think it's pretty good. It's just noon for everyone. But
Yep.
some people are sound asleep because
Right.
noon is the middle of the night for them.
You'll get used to it. In like 5 years, you'll just be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
noon, of course. That's when people are asleep."
Right.
I
Absolutely.
like it.
It'll be just like how it's summer in Australia during Christmas.
Yeah.
It'll be no different than that because we can't get rid of seasons.
If we could get rid of seasons, that would be all right too. But I don't know if that's probably a harder. That's probably going to be harder to get through Congress.
I think it's a bigger ask. I think we can better get rid of constructs than we
Yeah.
can things that happen in the actual earth.
Just for the record, though, I'd be fine getting rid of seasons if anybody, if anybody's got an
Now,
organization for that, I will donate
now
money.
that depends on where we're coming down.
Well, that's true.
I'm going to have something to say about this. We're getting rid of seasons. There are places you can go where they don't have them.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true. They're expensive though.
it's true. Very. That's why we
Rochester's
live
nice and
here.
cheap because we Rochester's nice and cheap because we have so many seasons.
Too many seasons. Many of
Almost
them
all of them
cold.
cold. Yeah, almost all of them cold.
Almost all of them.
Yeah. It is cold today. You know what else is cold, Heather?
It's cold if you don't choose to donate to the WAYO fundraiser. Donate.wayofm.org. Don't be cold. Donate to WAYO today. What else
Get
is cold,
yourself
Ross?
a bumper
A
sticker, for
hoodie.
example,
You can stay
a hoodie,
warm. You won't be cold if you have a WAYO hoodie.
or donate that $1,000,000 and get you that car.
The
That's
car's
not on the
probably got a
website.
heater in it.
You have to DM for that. You have to DM somebody for that.
Yeah. Get in touch with WAYO management. That's above our pay grade, but you're welcome. You're welcome for putting the idea in your head.
Absolutely.
We will
Um,
take credit for that.
I hate to keep banging this drum, but what am I here for? What else are we here for?
No, that's what we
So
do.
we have talked about this this all ties back to this education stuff, the critical race theory stuff, the book banning stuff that now ties into that. It's all, and I want to keep bringing this up just because I feel like I feel like somebody needs to keep banging this drum, and it's just the stuff just keeps getting more ridiculous. So a couple new things in this week that just were just things that I stumbled upon. So Texas has now put together a list of 850 books that they are quote unquote investigating. They are so October 25th, Representative Matt Krause, a Republican state lawmaker, asked schools to confirm whether the book titles are on shelves or not. So they put together this list of they didn't say how they came up like nobody knows or nobody's saying where this list really came from, like how they came up with the books on this list. Apparently, and I didn't go through the entire list because that's a lot of books, but it's 16
Yeah.
pages worth of books.
Oh my
But
gosh.
most include and by most, I think it's really almost all um, include elements relating to race or sexuality. So there's a so they passed this House Bill 3979, which is the state's critical race theory law, which is the one that's, again, there have been a lot of these, but the Texas one is very similar. It's the, basically anything that could make straight white children upset
Mm-hmm.
about anything that happened in history or happens in the present is um is suspect and should not be taught. So they have so this is a list of 850 books that are currently under investigation to find out. They're spending taxpayer money to find out if these books are in schools or libraries that people could have access to. And again, it's from a lot of the stuff I saw, I mean, there were things I had read. It's not like, I don't know, what's a good name for a filthy book? Like, it's not Debbie Does Dallas the novel. I mean, it's not stuff like that. It's it's I'm just looking really quick for some of the names here. There's, you know, what is the Black Lives Matter movement is one. That's the name of a book. Firestarter,
I
which
feel
is
like I
weird.
read that.
Yeah.
That sounds
Um,
familiar.
oh, Moonstruck, okay, which is a graphic novel series, which is a perfectly charming, perfectly child friendly. By the way, it's just because I'm skimming through this as we speak, just and seeing some of the things I've read. So Moonstruck is a very charming about a barista who has a crush on um but they're like shapeshifters.
Witches?
They're like werewolves. Yeah, but
Oh,
it's
close.
very
Okay.
cutesy. It's very cutesy. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
like all ages YA friendly. Like there's nothing at all offensive there. Ziggy
Mm-hmm.
Stardust and
Mm-hmm.
Me is included in there.
Wow.
But
Wow.
anyway, this is an 850-page list, so I won't include all this. But it's, I mean, as you're looking through it, the titles that I recognize at least, or that you can figure out what they're about, yeah, it does look like it's almost entirely things about queerness or oh, there's a Wonder Woman Unbound: The Curious History of the World's Most Famous Heroine is included on there. I've read that book. That is a nonfiction book about creation of Wonder Woman. I'm not even sure. Like,
Wow. That
I mean, that guy was a little freaky, but so I don't know. So anyway, so that's what's going on in Texas right now. And then this was fascinating too. So fascinating in a bad way. So over in Virginia, which is traditionally a little less wackadoo than some of the other states that we've talked about. So there's an election going on to be decided. Actually, again, because we're pre-recording these because of COVID, it's it's it will be it will this will be yesterday by the time you have heard this, so we'll already know the
mm-hmm.
outcome of this. But there is a just we are coming to you from the past where we don't know the future yet. There is a very tight congressional race between Terry McAuliffe, the Democratic candidate, and Glenn Youngkin, the Republican candidate. So the I I I, I kind of wish you could see this video because it is disturbingly hilarious. Now these two are running neck and neck, right? So this is the final. I believe this is the final ad and one of the biggest ads that Glenn Youngkin has run, and it's a woman. It's a real person. This is not an actress. This is a real person. This is a mother of a person who's now in his 20s. And there's this, like, she's like talking and she's talking about how, when Terry McAuliffe was, because Terry McAuliffe had been governor before, when he was governor before, there was my child was in a class and brought home this filth that I had to read, and he had to read, and I didn't realize that there was such filth. And it cuts to, like,
Mm-hmm.
there's this very dramatic music, and it cuts to her literally wringing her hands,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
can't
haven't
even.
seen this, but I've heard about it.
Yeah. So so and doesn't mention what this filthy, disgusting book is that her child was asked to read. That, if Terry McAuliffe is governor again, children will be reading this kind of filth back in class. But because this is a person who's a real person, who and was sort of led this fight around this filth that was in our classrooms, people know what she's referring to, and um, it's Toni Morrison's Pulitzer Prize winning novel Beloved,
Hmm.
from a from a senior year college level AP English class.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, the way this is framed is like a, I mean, you would think she's saying like Terry McAuliffe, and again, I'm not that engaged in Virginia politics, so I don't know that this is the only issue involved. I don't know what the issues are. I'm not following this race that closely, except that I know that it's been in the news a lot because it's so close. But I would be, I guess, at least a little suspicious of someone whose big campaign final message, like the thing that's really going to put me
Hmm.
over the top in the last bit of the campaign, is I'm going to make sure that no child in the state of Virginia has to be forced to learn about the existence of Pulitzer Prize winning novelist Toni Morrison
Hmm. Hmm.
and her filth, her brand of filth,
Yeah.
which the filth of Beloved is, it's about slavery.
Right.
That's not all it's about, but I mean that's the primary filth apparently in Beloved. So um from a college level English class, I it's it's fascinating and disturbing. And again, like you've said so eloquently, I think more than once when we've talked about this, these are the same. This is very much the f your
Hmm.
feelings crowd. This is very
Yes.
much the you poor pitiful snowflakes, you can't take anything,
Hmm.
who are
These suck it up,
freaking out.
buttercups.
Right, who are freaking out because there are children in the state of Virginia, children meaning like 18-year-olds in senior
Yes.
level, in senior year college level English classes,
Right.
who have been forced to learn a that there's a black author, there has been up until recently, as she is no longer with us, but a black Pulitzer Prize winning author named Toni Morrison, and also that black Pulitzer Prize winning author talked about slavery. Like, I mean, this is the kind of thing that we can't possibly, our delicate little children, they can't
I
possibly handle.
know. Literal hand wringing.
Literal hand wringing. I mean, it's framed again. It sounds like she's talking about her baby that was killed in a car crash. I mean, that's how it's filmed, and that Terry McAuliffe is responsible for this car crash. And
It's
yeah,
so interesting.
it's fascinating. And this is from the historian Kevin Cruz, who was writing about this. you know, if you're that concerned about the kind of books, these kind of, this kind of books that, your child can't handle this, maybe you don't have to take the AP English class.
Yeah,
Like, because
I was reading a
this.
different article kind of related to this, and I
Mhm,
guess there is Beloved is often taught in AP, and
mhm.
another Toni Morrison novel that is even more protested, the whole like my children can't be subjected to this, is The Bluest Eye, because that's taught in a lot of regents classes.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, that the whole like, well, don't let him take AP. There is still like there's that other argument going on again about a very, very famous and rewarded, lauded author.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. I don't know. I don't understand the level of fearfulness. I mean, I guess on the one hand, I say, here. Okay, so here's part of the problem, right? So yes, on some level, somewhere within my heart, I guess I understand the idea that maybe if you want to raise your child a certain way, I guess you have that right. But it's never the argument is never or it's rarely like, I don't want my kid reading this book. How do I get out of this? How do I get my kid out of having to read this book that I don't approve of? It's always, how do we get rid of this book so that no one has the right to read this book?
Hmm. Hmm.
How do we get rid of
Yes.
this for every child? because I don't approve of this book for my child. Um,
Yep.
and
Yeah, because people do, I guess, have the right to control what their children read.
I mean, to an extent, I mean,
I mean,
you're,
it doesn't seem like a smart idea to have that kind of stranglehold over what your kid might want to read. It's, I guess, important maybe to make sure if there's like a little kid that they don't get something that's going to scare them too badly.
yeah, I mean, to some extent, I feel like it's a little self-limiting in the sense that,
It is.
if you're 3 years old, you're probably not going to be able to read Beloved.
Right.
If you are, maybe you're ready to read Beloved at 3 years old. I don't know. To get and absorb books at more mature levels, you kind of have to have a little more maturity
Yeah.
to have the capability to read at that level. So it's
Right. And I mean, you and I were both big readers. So the idea
yeah,
of trying to censor books, ban books, even a parent taking a book away from a child and throwing that book in the garbage and forbidding their kid to read it, that makes me uncomfortable, which I'm
yeah,
sure is my own baggage as well.
yeah. I mean, well, and you think of a movie or a TV show, anybody can absorb that. You can put your 2-year-old in front of the most, disturbing movie, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to pick up on some of it. Maybe, if they remember any of it, but especially, we'll say a 5-year-old, maybe that's a better example. A 5, 6-year-old, you can put in front of you can set down in front of a disturbing movie and they're going to absorb some of that and they might be
Mm-hmm.
disturbed. So as a parent, I definitely get the idea of, oh, I don't want my kid watching that movie. I understand that again, but again, to be able to read the book,
Mm-hmm.
by the time you're able to read the book, for the most part, um, you are generally going to be a lot closer to an age where you can absorb that.
You
So,
know, I realize though, they got us again.
uh oh,
They got us into the logic.
true.
We're doing it.
You're right.
I
You're
saw
right.
us all of a sudden. I was like, no, we're trying to logic out of this with like, no, reading is good. It broadens a person's horizon. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone gives you a different perspective. This isn't about actually protecting the children
You're right.
or enhancing or affecting their education. It's about removing anything other than white voices from the curriculum.
Straight white voices.
Straight white voices.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think that's I you know we've talked about
I'm so
we've
sorry
talked about
about that.
whether
I didn't
like
mean to. I love to ride the logic train. I didn't mean to derail
yeah
it, but
you're
it just
no
hit me clearly. I was like, "Oh no. Oh no,
no
we
that's
jumped on our favorite train."
that's very wise, and I don't mean to jump because a lot of times we've talked about how um the sometimes lack of intersectionality among, well, I'll say among queer people, and wherever you are on the spec, there's a lack, and queer people can definitely be racist, but in the case of in the case of this stuff, what I'm seeing on these lists
Yes.
is it is blackness, and particularly
Yep.
blackness. I mean, a lot, there's you get into it, it certainly gets into immigrant experience and
Mhm, mhm,
Hispanic
mhm.
stuff, but really, I mean, they're really hitting the black stuff hard. And
Yeah.
but blackness and queerness, I think, are the two, like they are united in these lists, like they
Yep.
are
Yep. Yep. Yep.
as one. I think as far as these parents and these school districts and this governor candidate are concerned, they are interchangeable. They're absolutely,
Mhm.
it, it is just as bad to learn about blackness as it is to learn about queerness. Because I mean, that's what you see when you see these lists anyway. It
Yeah.
seems like very close to 50-50.
Uh,
So I don't know. So again, I know this is getting old, but I feel like this is a
no, I mean,
drum
but
that's worth
it's
it to hang.
going on.
And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We've both fallen into the trap, and I certainly did there for a minute, where it's like, oh well, let's look. This is why some of this stuff is so intractable, and why I get more and more frustrated, or I guess pessimistic, because you realize, I've always tried to come from a place of like, okay, well, let's try to have this out. And
Mhm.
coming from a person who can make usually a good argument and a good logical argument, sure, I always feel like I have a little bit of an advantage there. But okay, let's talk this out and let's find the logic of this and let's, even if it's me thinking, let me help you see where you're wrong, still
Mhm.
I come at things from a point of let's communicate. But again, you're right. There's not a logic here. There's not a misperception. There's not a
Right.
misunderstanding of what it is to read a book. It is
Yeah.
we don't it is we want blackness and queerness out of our schools, out of our lives, out
Right.
of our society. And that's
Mhm.
not something you can rationalize with. That's not something you can logic your
Yep.
way out of.
But the people are smart enough to know we can't actually say what we mean.
Right.
So, what we're going to say instead is that we're protecting the children,
Right.
which a little bit more on that kind of vein, because I have another topic I'd like to briefly discuss. But before we get to that, just wanted to remind everybody listening that the WAYO fundraiser for 2022 is in full effect right now. Visit donate.wayofm.org. You can become a WAYO member, which gets you all kinds of great perks around the community. You get some of the physical perks we mentioned, but also you get free admission to WAYO events. You can get a WowWee membership card with a really cool graphic on it that you can put in your wallet. And then when you're at the store and stuff, you can make sure like the cashier sees it so that they know that you're like really cool and they know that you support WAYO, because it's a way to just like brag without having to open your mouth. You can just open your wallet and donate at donate.wayofm.org. Included with a membership, you can get a free bagel with cream cheese with the purchase of a dozen at Balsam Bagels. You can get a percentage off at Carbon Records, percentage off at Bob Shop Records, percentage off at Needle Drop, percentage off at Cat Clay. Innovation 3, you can get a free cookie with a $12 purchase at Red Fern, free baklava with $25 purchase at Vula's Greek Sweets, free 8-ounce drip coffee with the purchase of retail coffee bag at Ugly Duck Coffee, and there's more to come. There is a full list available at wayofm.org/membership.
Prizes at other levels include a kitty, a
No.
one of those ride-on scooters for adults. Prizes
Meow.
at other levels include a trip to the movies with Heather. Prizes at other levels include
You
a
have to
dead
buy me
squirrel,
popcorn.
and you
Aw,
don't
that
have to
one's
buy.
sad. We've only got one of those. And do remember,
We have a lot of those. You don't have to buy
donate
Heather popcorn.
when you go and you do. When you go and donate over at
She's not going to eat it.
donate.wayofm.org,
She's not
I'm
going
not
to
going
eat
to eat
it.
a
She's
dead
going to go,
squirrel.
oh, I
I'm
don't,
not going to
I
eat the
don't,
dead squirrel. I don't
oh,
eat
I
dead
can't. I'm
squirrels.
sorry, I can't eat these
I know what
carbs
you're
right
talking
now.
about.
You're gonna buy her $80 worth of popcorn
I love
because that's what
corn.
it costs, and she's gonna be like, I don't know if I can't eat it right now because
You
I'm not
stop.
full.
You stop.
That's how you talk. So anyway, yep.
That's how you talk.
All
That's
right,
how you've always talked. That's why no one likes our show. That's how you talk.
that's a fair point. I think of the
Donate.wayofm.org.
two of us, one of us has had complaints
That's
about
true.
our
That's
actual
true.
voice, and it's not me
That's true.
because
That's
I'm
very
a
true.
boy, and no one
Touche.
ever complains about boy voices. So
Touche. You
yeah,
you're absolutely right. So I learned about a thing today, and I'll admit it's not daylight saving, but I didn't sleep very well last night, for no reason in particular. But so I might be a little like extra cranky today. You know how when you
okay.
don't sleep you get a little extra cranky. I learned about a thing today that made me feel a little cranky. And so I wanted to kind of ask you about this. Have you heard about the Let's Go Brandon code that
Um,
is now popular amongst certain Republicans and conservatives?
yes. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So
Yes, I am very familiar with this.
for anybody who hasn't heard about this, there's there have been politicians, for example, Representative Bill Posey from Florida ended an October 21st speech with Let's Go Brandon. There's an investigation right now into a Southwest pilot who said this after doing his little pilot speech.
Hmm.
Interestingly, with the reporter who was writing an article on this new phenomenon on the plane. So she had some tweets about how she was like running up and trying to get them to open the locked cockpit door so that she could get a quote. And she
Hmm.
almost got thrown off the plane.
Okay.
But this is an article by that same journalist, Colleen Long. And this must be the article she was working on while she was on the plane when the pilot said, "Let's go, Brandon." So, "Let's go, Brandon" came about because there was some kind of NASCAR race, and the driver who was driving, his name was Brandon. and he was being interviewed by a reporter, and the crowd was chanting something that we cannot say here on WAYO FM, donate.wayofm.org, WAYO fundraiser. It was a vulgar phrase about Joe
F Joe
Biden.
Biden. Yeah.
Yeah, F Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even going to bother quoting this. So someone was like, "Oh wait, what are they chanting?" And the reporter was like, "Oh, I think it's Let's Go Brandon."
Mhm.
And boy, oh boy, Republicans think this is funny. Trump
Is it
has a
taken off?
T-shirt he's selling for $45 in his "Hey, I'm Trump, give me money" store, or whatever it's
Yep.
called. I can think of a better place to spend your money. That's donate.wayofm.org. And I, so I was like, when I saw this, I was just like, that is so stupid.
Well,
Like, I
and
just,
we're seeing it on Congress people. It's become very much of a thing, and it's. I mean, I don't know what to say about it except it's incredibly childish and stupid. And I mean, and part of the thing is too. You know, I think one of uh uh Lindsay McConnell. That's not a person. Yes, Chuck. Yes. Anyway, oh my gosh, not my brain just turned off for a second. I think because of this conversation. Um, Republicans, the Republican brand used to be sort of a base level competence, like even when it was not great economic policies. The brand was always like, the Democrats are sleeping in and not getting their hair cut. We are getting up
uh-huh.
in the morning. We're going to work. We're doing the stuff. We're going home
Well,
to our families. We're taking care of business. That was always
so
the
there
brand.
was some kind of like projection of like, we are classy, we are
Right.
competent, we're
Right.
smart and sharp.
We're not those hippie Democrats.
Okay.
Um, and the fact that we now have 80-year-old men um going around in "Let's Go Brandon" t-shirts and sniggering because this
Yeah.
is really a vulgar thing to say to the president, which I'm fine. I'm sure
Also,
I've
like,
directed a few
just
vulgarities at presidents before in
say
my
it.
life.
Just because I
Well,
was thinking that I was like, why are they being so sly? Because I
yeah,
was trying to think like, our people on our liberal weenie side of things, we weren't making up codes to say it about the
right,
former president.
right,
We were
right,
just
yeah,
saying it, which seems, I mean, it just seems so childish
yeah.
and embarrassing. Like, oh no, I just meant "Let's Go Brandon." I'm a NASCAR fan. Like,
It is.
why are you being that way?
It is
Like,
embarrassing. No, embarrassing is the right word. It is. Why? Yeah. Why are you being that way? It's dumb.
like
It's dumb. If it were a yeah, if it were like an anti-Trump thing, I would feel the same way. I'm like, this is a little embarrassing. This is like,
yeah, if it were some
this
weird
is dumb.
coded thing that we were like snickering about, I'd be like,
Mhm.
folks, just say it. Like,
Like if Nancy had a "Let's Go Brandon" and it meant something completely different, hat, and if
I
it was
would,
like, I would be like, that's embarrassing, sweetie. That is like,
yeah.
you are you're you're a member of the government. Like, can you not
No,
be so
I
embarrassing,
mean,
please?
that's the thing. And like a congressperson ending a speech chanting it, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
America
Well, and
really
even a pilot.
has
I mean,
come to this. And a pilot.
I would be scared. I would honestly be a little terrified because knowing what it means, um,
Yes.
if a pilot started, if a pilot just said what it meant, again, whoever the president was, um, I'd be concerned. I'd be like, why is this pilot taking a moment to cuss out the president for whatever reason, whatever your feelings are, whatever your issues are,
Mm-hmm.
um, while flying this plane? I mean, I'd be a little, again, whoever the president was, I would be a little like, I don't know if this person is in a good state of mind to be flying this plane right now. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
because
this is who I want flying this plane.
Right. I'm trying to picture me sitting in an airplane in like 2018
Hmm.
and the pilot says, F the president. You're right. I
Yeah.
think I would have been like, oh, okay, I kind of wanted to know what altitude we were going. Can we get back to matters at hand? Like, I'm with you. I'm with you, but
Yeah.
fly the
I'm
plane.
with you, but can we focus on flying the plane,
Yeah.
please? And not like, and, you know, again, what's the frame of mind where you decide to swear about the president and your politics while you're in the middle of flying a plane? Like, what's your state of mind?
Yeah. And like
It
right
seems like
before
it's
you
not a good
take
one.
off, like you've got to yell it, but then you've got to yell this weird coded thing that's even like worse and more embarrassing.
Right. That's just,
Like,
that's bad and embarrassing.
uh,
Yeah, I'm with you. It's really obnoxious. It's really annoying, and
okay.
it's. I mean, the worst part is, I guess the worst part of it is like so much of this other stuff. You're like, dude, that is objectively embarrassing, and they're like, no, it's not. It's cool.
That's the thing, and I'm like, "Oh
Like, it's
my
not
eyes are
cool
just
in any
my eyes
way.
are rolling. My eyes hurt. They're rolling so hard, and they're like, I think it's hysterical. It's like,
Hmm.
what are you, 6? Are
Right.
you on the playground and you're 6?
Right.
Like, oh, I don't know. But you know what, Space Cadets? Even if you are actually a literal 6-year-old, you can still go on over to donate.wayofm.org and you can donate to the WAYO
I don't.
2022
I don't,
fundraiser.
I don't think that's true. So get your parents' permission before you do that, please.
You
I
don't
think. I think.
6-year-olds don't listen to us.
Well, okay.
Who's
If you are a
6 out
6-year-old and you
there?
happen to be listening, don't do that. Get your parents' permission. Thank you.
What 6-year-old has a wallet? They don't give
I think. I
6-year-old
think.
wallets.
I think
Thanks for
sometimes they
listening,
do.
little kids. I'm glad that we don't say
Right.
bad swears on here too often. Thanks
Sorry.
for listening, little kids. Thanks for listening, big kids. Thanks for listening, Space Cadets. Thanks most of all for listening. WAYO supporters, that's donate.wayofm.org. You're going to hear more about the fundraiser coming up on Music Matters right after this very program. Thanks so much for your support.
Boop boop boop. I feel like I should be surprised you're dating a cryptid, but honestly, this makes the most sense to me.
I know. It just feels so right.
I mean, you're practically a cryptid yourself.
That's just what my new boyfriend Mothman says.
So is he friends with like Nessie and Bigfoot and stuff?
I'm not really allowed to talk about Bigfoot.
What? Heather, is this guy trying to control you?
No, 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 no. It's not like that. We just don't talk about Bigfoot. But we do party with him, and that guy has some stories.
I'm jelly.
Yeah.